hello. Okay, question number 5. By way of reminder, don't trust this man, welcome. By way of reminder, I have not seen any of these questions until the moment I see them here with you. Ready? 3, 2, 1. What are your least and most favorite passages from the Bible? So, funny story. Well, okay, it's a story. You decide if it's funny. When I was younger, my church had actually a pretty active signing ministry for folks who were hearing impaired in some way or another. So much so that they actually offered classes in ASL. Is that right? ASL? And I signed up for a class in ASL. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. It was like 12 weeks. It was the real deal. We bought the book. There was a book. And there were the folks who translated the signers from Sunday services were the teachers. And I didn't really pay attention. So I wasn't a great student. But then all of a sudden, by like week 4, there was a test, and we had to sign a verse from the Bible to the entire class. And I was like, I am in a bad way. But I knew, like, even from children's church, I think I still know it, the sign for Jesus, which I think is like that. I think that's right. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna find me a Jesus verse. And then I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do John, I think it's John 11:35. I think it's the shortest verse in the Bible, and it is just, it's so good. It's just Jesus. I think it's wept. I think that's right. So that's not my favorite. Well, you know what's funny? I should stop myself. It is one of my favorite passages in the Bible not because it made it easy to pass my ASL class test, although it did, Jesus wept. I don't think they liked that I did that though either. But because of what that passage shows us about Jesus, right? Because you could sort of drone on and on about what it means and the story of Lazarus and why did he delay, but I think it also just shows us that Jesus was sad because his friend died. And that's really helpful to me. It's helpful to know that the person whom I understand to be this mysterious alchemy of divinity and humanity was just got sad. Because I get sad all the time. And not just about people dying, although that is very sad, but about all kinds of things. It shows us that for Jesus to be sad about a friend dying shows us that Jesus could have friends. And for Jesus to have friends means that he was someone that people want to be friends with. And that's kind of cool. All that's just really helpful. So, interestingly enough, it's not where I thought I was going to go with that, but that's one of my favorite passages in the Bible. More generally, I like those passages from the New Testament, particularly oftentimes the words of Jesus, and sometimes Paul talks about this too. I like those passages that remind us that Jesus loves us, you might say, no matter what, or in spite of who we are, or how we can be, or whatever. So I suppose I'd say those verses that hint at, and there are those passages in the Old Testament too. A lot of the New Testament ones come to mind first. But anyway, those passages in the Bible that hint at what it is to be loved unconditionally, those, as they say, resonate with me. Because I've experienced in my life what it is to be loved, or what it feels like to be loved conditionally. That's not really love, I don't think, ultimately, or it's kind of a weaker form of love. Sometimes it's the only way people can love us, so I suppose it's love, but it's just kind of, it's not quite there. And so to think about being loved unconditionally is really encouraging and helpful to me, even though sometimes it's hard to actually believe. It's a separate issue. Least favorite passages from the Bible. I don't like what some people refer to as the clobber verses. So those are verses that people use to substantiate a particular belief about human sexuality. Some verses from Leviticus and other places. But I think more broadly, I like how I actually change the question to match what I want to say. More broadly, I don't like any verse that is proof texted, that is pulled from its original context and used as an argument for or against something. And I should hasten to add, I've done it. And I will do it again. I hate it when I do it too. That's not what the Bible's meant for. The Bible's not meant to be a weapon we wield against each other. So yeah, that could be almost anything. But that's what I hate. I dislike it when passages from the Bible, scriptures, are ripped from their context to then be used to prove a point or disprove someone else's point. That could be almost anything. It's really, really, really tempting. Like, it's really, really easy to do. You could argue that I did it with John 11:35, although I'm not really trying to prove anything. I mean, I guess I'm trying to prove Jesus' humanity, but I don't really need to prove it either. I mean, he was a human. No, maybe that was more observations, but still, that's what I hate. I hate it when, or I don't like it when, or those are my least favorite scriptures, are ones that are taken out of context to get people to feel, think, or worst of all, do something. Versus just kind of like letting scriptures be what they are, understanding them in their proper context and the audience to which they're written, all that stuff. Yeah. I'll watch this. This is a YouTube thing. What about you? Comment below. I'm just kidding. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't have to. That was a good one. I do like how I do that. No, this is what I want the question to be.